Civil unrest in the United Kingdom has reached a boiling point, and the situation is so dire that rumblings of civil war are being heard. Here are but a few examples of what's being said.
The people will feel they have no option other than to take action into their own hands rather than rely on political leaders who are doing nothing in their eyes. So yeah, I think there's every likelihood. I don't know what the time frame is, but I would go far as to predict not just civil unrest, but civil war in the UK.
The UK is falling apart. You don't need a think tank to tell you that, but that's exactly what a think tank has discovered. Whether you're supporting Palestine or the right to fly a flag, Britain is on the brink of explosion.
The last 3 or so months at least, the main topic that's dominated the UK discourse, get ready to drink chat, civil war. Now, we don't talk like this in our country. It's not a thing that we've really spoken about since, the 17th century. The Brits are quite shy and polite and reserved.
What level do you think this is at this point?
It's at a very severe level. And I believe unless there's change in the next few years, it could become irreversible. We've got a major problem with mass immigration. We've got a major problem with deindustrialization, with stagnation, so people's incomes aren't going up. They're seeing their towns and villages change, their cities change. Things are getting worse, but we have a very powerful status quo, a very powerful establishment that doesn't want the radical change that our country needs.
Tim Dieppe, head of public policy at Christian Concern, joins us now from London. Tim, paint us a picture of what's happening in the UK.
Well, there's been a lot of concern about mass immigration, huge numbers of immigration from other countries coming to the UK, particularly illegal immigration. This is people coming in on small boats over the Channel from France. There's been 50,000 people in the last 12 months that have come into the country that way. No real checks on who they are and what they're doing and where they're from, and often without any papers, all this kind of stuff. And then what's really annoyed people is that they're being put up in hotels for free, with free food and free expense money and free healthcare and dental care and all of these other things, and causing social problems. And there are stories of increased crime levels. Obviously, huge. The vast majority of these immigrants are men, and they're coming into the towns and they've not got anything to do. And they're getting illegal jobs, but then there are also allegations of rapes and sexual assaults and all of this kind of thing around these hotels, as well as, we've now become, I think, the phone stealing capital of Europe, more than any other country in the world, and various other crimes as well. And so it has reached a kind of boiling point about these hotels. People feel very angry, like, why are these, I work hard to provide for my children and my family and my wife and all of this. And these migrants just come in here illegally and they get put up in a nice hotel. They get free food, they get free healthcare, they get free whatever, and they can just do whatever they want. And surely this is not fair. And what really brought it to a head is a particular hotel in a place called Epping here in the outskirts of North London. And there's a hotel there, and there has been alleged sexual assault by one of the residents at this hotel, which is full of illegal immigrants. And the local council has complained that this is disrupting the local community, has complained to the government, so we don't think this is a suitable place for you to be housing these immigrants. And the government said, well, don't care, you still got to do it. And then there were protests outside the hotel because of this alleged sexual assault that happened. And then there was a legal case brought against the government by the local council saying, you should not be housing these illegal immigrants in this hotel. They won initially in the court and got an injunction to stop housing any more illegal immigrants. And then just today, as we're talking today, just a few hours ago, the government won and overturned that ruling that they should be allowed to house immigrants in that hotel. And they actually argued in court that the rights of immigrants trump the rights of the local residents, which is, people are very, very shocked about. And then everyone's talking about the government against the people. The government, who is the government on the side of? Are they on the side of the people of the country or the people who come from outside the country to use up our resources and come into these hotels and so on? And it just looks like the government is against the people, against the will of the people, and against the will of the local council in Epping, in that area. And so this has caused a huge sort of fuss. It's been the main headline news for some weeks now through the summer. Here in the UK, questions about what we're going to do about these immigrants. People starting to talk about the need to deport large numbers of them and provide proper disincentives for people to come to this country, and not house them in hotels, but have centres or residence centres, or maybe army barracks or something like that, or do something like that to house them, because it's just become a source of huge tension here in the UK. And nobody wants to live near one of these migrant hotels. Those who do live near them are very upset about them and complaining about them. And the government just appears to be on the side of foreign people coming into the country and giving them the rights they deserve over against the rights of the people who live in the country already.
Well, that's what it seems like from the outside. Obviously, we're here in the United States, but it almost seems like and maybe we're missing something, but it almost seems like the government is choosing folks that are not British citizens in favor of British citizens. And the question is, why? Are they just inept, or is there something more sinister happening? But to your point about phones being stolen, I heard that report and I thought, that's kind of interesting. But if you go online, there are just video after video after video of these gangs of people on electric scooters just snatching up people's phones in London. I'm like, wow, this really is happening. And obviously you have these protests where people are, waving St. George's Cross. Elon Musk tweeted a photo of it. What do you see happening? I mean, it seems like we're marching towards, the word that's being thrown around is civil war. And obviously British folks, I know plenty of them, are not alarmist. They're not, trying to be incendiary, but it does seem like something has to give here.
Well, I think that this government has sort of brought itself onto a crisis around this. I think they didn't realize how serious this issue is and how strongly people feel about it. I think they've been forced to take this legal case because they've got nowhere else to house these migrants, and they feel like they have to do something for them. But I think there's a lot of pressure, and you've obviously got this new political party, Reform, headed by Nigel Farage, which is proposing to deport hundreds of thousands over years of these migrants. And you've got Labour MPs feeling vulnerable because they might lose their seats over it. It's become the biggest top political issue. It's become the biggest political issue in this country. And we will see how the government reacts. The government has promised to empty these hotels by 2029, but they've got to find alternative accommodation, and they're more arriving every day. There's got to be a more robust solution to this that A, stops them coming in, disincentivizes them coming in, deports them if necessary, which would be another disincentive, to stop them coming in from France and stop them, the government from having to find this accommodation for them all the time. And the government, I don't think, is quite ready to take the action that's deserved. You've got other more liberal, more left-wing MPs in the Labour Party who are like, we should just welcome all these people and so on. And that there's a real tension within that party about this. But this government is the least popular government for a long, long time in this country now. Its popularity ratings are very, very low. But it only got elected last year, and we've still got 4 more years of this as things stand. So let's see how things play out. It's a very, very hot political issue. There are protests all the time around it, and counter-protests as well, and lots of allegations of two-tier policing and the government being against the people. So, it's going to carry on for some time, this, I think.
Well, Tim, I appreciate your time, and God bless, my friend.
Thank you.